Imagine the process at a mint. Planchets are punched, blanks are struck, dies press designs, and coins emerge, each following exact specifications. Rarely, though, a planchet from one series slips into the line meant for another. Occasionally dies are mixed or misaligned. It is in those fleeting instants that numismatic legends are born. Such an aberration gives birth to a crossover or hybrid coin, a legal tender from one country, but stamped with the design of another. In this case, a Canadian cent stamped with what appears to be the hallmark of a US penny's reverse. When that happens, collectors take notice. They don't just raise an eyebrow. They pay close attention, they verify, and sometimes they bid fiercely. Experts examine every detail. The weight, the metal composition, the die alignment, the edges, the strike quality, and whether the relief matches known varieties. They compare with authenticated specimens. They search for signs whether this was truly struck through a cross-border mix-up or whether it's a novelty, a clever fantasy piece, or even a forgery. When one passes all the rigorous tests, its value can skyrocket. Not because it's currency, but because it's history preserved in metal. Imagine this very coin. Copper lightly toned around the edges with fine details still visible. You can make out the columns of the Lincoln Memorial, the central open entrance carved in miniature, and the delicate patterns around the base. You sense the glow where light hits the high points, while the recesses retain a darker patina. From the obverse side, you might still see the familiar outline of Queen Elizabeth II, though perhaps slightly faint, overshadowed by the anomaly on the reverse. That juxtaposition, the Queen on one side, the American monument on the other, is what makes this coin a conversation piece, a showpiece for cabinets, galleries, and online displays. People who see it react in different ways. Some lean forward, squinting in curiosity. Some reach for magnifying glasses, eager to scrutinize every feature. Some whisper about its provenance, wondering, did it come from a collector, from a mint lot, or was it discovered in change, overlooked for years? Imagine telling the story. One day this coin was exchanged for groceries, circulated innocently, passed hand to hand. Then decades later, someone notices it, takes it to a coin show, and shock. Experts recognize it as one of the legendary mistruck Canadian-US hybrids. And just when you think the tale must end there, the final chapter turns out to be astonishing. Recently, such a coin, closely matching this very description, sold at auction $4.88,000. That price is not a casual estimate, not a whispered rumor. It was the winning bid recorded in public sales channels, confirmed by numismatic houses and auction records. That number transforms a 1-cent piece into an investment, into a bet on rarity, into a symbol of how the most unlikely objects can command millionaire attention. Why such a price? One reason is emotional connection. Collectors yearn for pieces with stories, for coins that defy ordinary logic. Another reason is scarcity. How many crossover errors like this truly exist? Perhaps only one or two, maybe even fewer. When supply is nearly zero and demand among high-end collectors is fierce, prices can soar. And it's not just the design, it's authenticity. This coin passed expert scrutiny. Metallurgical analysis confirmed the correct copper composition. Microscopic inspection showed genuine die contact rather than post-strike tampering, and auction houses backed its legitimacy. Collectors bid not only for rarity but for the assurance of authenticity. If you own such a coin, or even suspect one in your holdings, you hold more than copper and metal. You hold a story, a conversation piece, a future investment. Be cautious, though. Many replicas fade into circulation. Counterfeits are created, some with clever treatments to mimic that cross-national error. So before celebrating or listing it, take it to professionals. Get it slabbed and graded, accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. If it truly is the genuine article, it could move from your palm into elite collections, private vaults, and museum displays. When someone gazes at it, they won't see just a penny. They will see paradox. A Canadian coin with an American design, bridging two national identities in a tiny circular frame. They will wonder about the moment of error, the hand that dropped it, the eyes that rediscovered it. And they will ask, is this one of only a handful ever made? Such intrigue elevates it beyond a simple error. It becomes a legend in the world of numismatics. Coins like this are whispered about in specialist forums, dissected in articles, showcased at conventions, and scrutinized by the most discerning collectors. Owning it delivers prestige, sure, but also the responsibility of provenance. Present it well, with lighting that reveals its relief, with descriptions that emphasize the anomaly, with images from every angle. Let viewers see the contrast between what was expected and what appeared. Let them appreciate the tiny columns of the memorial, the wear patina, the crispness or softness of strike, and the curiosities around the rim. Ultimately, this coin is not just metal and history. It is a statement that the unexpected can become priceless. What once might have sat unnoticed in a jar of loose change now commands awe, fascination, and unbelievable value. And as that recent sale proved, one such coin fetched $88,000, turning humble copper into a legendary collector's gem.